Okay, so guys, we're back. I'm going to be alone. Luca, if you're watching this, first of all, fuck you, bro. You're supposed to be here with me. But now I'm going to do it all alone. So guys, of course, as for my football fans, as you guys know, the UEFA Nations League has finished 2 days ago. We had many interesting matches. And guys, I did this one for you. I watched every single fucking match. And I made notes on my phone about commentary and an analysis regarding every single game that was played in the UEFA Nations League. So this is episode number 65, UEFA Nations League recap. So guys, like I said, every single game I watched, I have notes. I did an entire commentary and analysis on every single game just for you guys. For people who didn't watch the games, want to get up to level, or for people who even watch the game and just want to get more commentary and analysis from me, of course, the greatest football analyst in the world. As people call me on social media, Junior Carragher. Jamie, I'll take that. I'll be proud to take that nickname, Junior Carragher. You have the best takes. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Okay, so let's get right into it. So let's start with the quarterfinals, the most important matches and the most watched matches. First game was Croatia versus France. The results, 2-2, France wins on penalties 5-4. That is the final score. The first leg was played in Croatia. Croatia won 2-0. And the second leg was played in France. France won 2-0, which then meant that they went into extra time and then all the way to penalties. And France won 5-4 in penalties. For the commentary and analysis, Croatia played a 4-2-3-1 formation in the first leg. As you guys know, Croatia's superstars there's Modric, plays for Real Madrid. You know what? Just saying Luka Modric, you guys know. The name speaks for itself. He's 39 years old. Of course, there's also Gvardiol, who is a Croatian superstar. Man City left back, number 4, 23 years old. Phenomenal player, maybe even the greatest left back in the world right now. We have Livakovic also, who's a goalkeeper, plays for Fenerbahce, 30 years old. There's also Kovacic, who's 30 years old right now, wears number 8, plays for Man City again, and he can play, as you guys know, central midfielder or CDM. Then we have Stanisic, who's also a really good Croatian player. He plays right back, number 2, 24 years old, plays for Bayern Munich. And then for another Croatian superstar, we have Perisic, left winger or right winger. He's a winger, number 14, 36 years old. Currently plays for PSV Eindhoven. We also have Andrej Kramaric. He plays winger or striker. He wears the number 9 for the Croatian national team. 33 years old, plays for Hoffenheim. And we have also probably a new guy, not new in age. He's 33 years old. Wears the number 11. Has been in excellent form for Osasuna, Ante Budimir. France played a 4-3-3 formation with a false 9, which was Ousmane Dembele. He can play that role perfectly. His abilities allow him to play that role very well. The French stars, Mbappe, like Modric, the name speaks for itself. Real Madrid, winger or even striker, number 10 for France, and he's a captain, 26 years old. Dembele, another French superstar. He wears the number 7. He can play on the wings, or he can even play false 9, even central attacking midfielder. That's how fucking phenomenal and talented he is. He plays for PSG currently, 27 years old. I added Tchouameni. He's a good midfielder, maybe not one of the best, but for France, he's a good midfielder. Plays for Real Madrid. He can play defensive midfielder, center back, or even central midfielder. 25 years old, wears the number 8. So for the first leg, French have benched Camavinga, Upamecano, Doué, Olise, Zaire Emery, Barcola, and Hernandez. France have crazy players on the bench. I don't know why they benched Camavinga and Barcola. In my opinion, Camavinga right now is the best French midfielder that they have. He's better than Tchouameni. He's better than Rabiot. He's their best midfielder right now. I'm not exactly sure why they benched Camavinga, but hey. And they also benched Barcola. For me, Barcola, maybe because there's Mbappe on the left wing and then Dembele. So maybe that can make more sense, but slowly maybe starting to look for a role for Barcola. Maybe he can play on the right wing with Dembele, central attack midfielder, and then Mbappe on the left wing. So watching that game, as you guys know, for people who know football very well, Croatia are the Brazilians of Europe. They're very technical, very good with the ball. That's why they have the nickname Brazilians of Europe. Early handball from France. Kramaric fucking misses the penalty. In my opinion, Modric should have taken the penalty. Livakovic is a really underrated goalkeeper. He saved Croatia many times, especially in the World Cup against Brazil in the quarterfinals. When it went into penalties, Livakovic was the main man that game. Modric at 39 years old, he's still him, man. Jesus Christ, he's a good midfielder. Still one of the top 10 midfielders in the world right now. Of course, he's 39 years old, so age is catching up with him. Croatia are still very good. Not as good as they once were, especially in 2018 and 2022, which is considered like their golden age, especially 2018 when it went all the way to the finals. 2 goals in the first half of the first leg for Croatia. Second goal is an amazing goal from Ivan Perisic, an amazing volley, just at the edge of the box, at the end of the box. Dembele is so fucking good, man. His finishing maybe isn't the best, although he scored on the second leg. He scored the second goal to tie the game, but he missed some goals in the first leg and in some chances in the first leg and in the second leg. But his dribbling, his chances creative, when it comes to abilities to create plays and dribbling, he's phenomenal. His footballing IQ is phenomenal, but his finishing could get maybe a bit better, although he is League One's top scorer. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong in this one. Mbappe was playing very well in the first leg. In my opinion, France missed way too many chances in the first leg. But although they missed so many chances in the first leg, I feel like France showed that they are way superior than Croatia in playing ability. Livakovic really saved Croatia in the first leg. It could have been 3-2 for France if it wasn't for Livakovic. He saved Croatia many times, so it ended 2-0. In the second leg, Croatia played again a 4-2-3-1 formation with Sucic starting in this central attacking midfielder role. France played a 4-2-3-1 formation in the second leg again with Barcola starting on the left wing and Olise starting in the right wing when Dembele in the central attacking midfielder position and Mbappe up front. Now, of course, I prefer Mbappe on the left wing, but he can also play up front. He's very versatile. He's a very good player, probably the best player right now on planet Earth, and he can play anywhere up front. France were completely dominating Croatia this second leg game. Croatia were completely defending the entire match. Just like in the first leg, France were constantly attacking. They showed their superiority and that they are way better than Croatia. Croatia couldn't do anything in the second leg. Amazing free kick goal from Olise. It shows his class. Olise is a very promising young talent, very good player. His free kick showed it. Now, it wasn't the best free kick, still a good free kick. Maybe Livakovic could have saved it, but I think he didn't see the ball coming. Whatever, it's a goal. The attacking front of France are very good and very dangerous. Dembele finally scores, like I said, the equalizer to equalize the aggregate with 2-2. Then on to penalties. Croatia missed way too many penalties. Livakovic, of course, is an amazing goalkeeper, but Croatia missed way too many chances in penalties, which France finished it off with a 5-4 win in penalties. Now let's jump into Italy versus Germany. So the final result of Italy versus Germany, it's 5-4 for Germany. That's the final score. The first leg, it was 2-1 for Germany. The game was played in Italy. And for the second leg, 3-3 for Germany, and that game was played in Germany. So for the commentary and analysis, Italy started off with a 3-5-2 formation in the first leg, which Italy are known to being a very defensive team. They've always been very defensive. 3-5-2, you can argue that maybe it's not as defensive as, let's say, 4-4-2 or other formations, but still, with 2 defensive midfielders, three defenders, you can argue that it's very defensive. Their star players, of course, Sandro Tonali, number 8, Newcastle, central midfielder, 24 years old, very good. And then in left back, we have Calafiori. He plays for Arsenal. He wears a number 5 for Italy. He's 22 years old. Donnarumma, which in my opinion, Donnarumma is maybe one of the greatest goalkeepers on planet Earth right now. Goalkeeper, captain for Italy, plays for PSG. He's 26 years old. Then we have Moise Kean, number 9, 25 years old. Plays for Fiorentina. He can play on the wings or as a striker. Barella, number 18, Inter Milan, 28 years old, central midfielder. Raspadori, very good. Plays for Napoli. Wears number 10 for Italy. 25 years old. He plays up front. Italy have a strong defense as always. Germany started off the first leg with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Their star players, and if I can add just before I name them, they all play for Bayern Munich, which is very good for their chemistry because they all play on the same club, for Bayern Munich, and then they all play for the same national team, Germany. So Musiala, number 10, attacking midfielder, Bayern Munich, 22 years old. Leroy Sané, Bayern Munich again, right winger, number 19, 29 years old, number 19 for Bayern Munich, for Germany. Then we have Joshua Kimmich. He's a captain of Germany, plays for Bayern Munich also, right back or even central defensive midfielder, number 6, and he's 30 years old. Then we have Goretzka in midfield. He plays for Bayern Munich also, number 8 for Germany, 30 years old. So very tight game between both teams. Germany are more offensive and Italy are more defensive, of course, like always. Tonali is a very good central midfielder with a nice, powerful shot. He showed it a couple of times in these two legs. Kimmich is a very good right back with good passes and good defending. Very similar to TAA, in my opinion. Very tight game the first leg. Germany started the second leg with a 3-4-3 formation. Very offensive. 3-4-3, as you guys know. Some of the most offensive formations there is. Italy started the second leg again with a 3-5-2 formation. A very tight game from both sides. Both sides are very good. Very similar in level. And it was very nice games to watch. Both sides are really close in level. Very offensive game. Both sides scored 3 times in the second leg. Donnarumma, in my opinion, he's one of the greatest goalkeepers on planet Earth, like I already mentioned, and he's only 26 years old. For a goalkeeper, 26 years old is the equivalent of a 20-year-old outfield player. So he's still very young for a goalkeeper, and he's just going to get better and better, more experience, and everything else that comes with being older as a goalkeeper. Kimmich with a quick thinking for the quick corner, which led to their first goal of the game. Very TAA-like against Barcelona in the Champions League semifinal in 2019. As a Barca fan, man, you remember that corner very, very well. That corner was the beginning of the downfall for Barcelona in the Champions League in 2019. And Kimmich's quick thinking, which led to a quick corner, which led to the first goal. Very TAA-like, very well done from Kimmich. Germany were leading 3-0 in the first half of the second leg. Moise Kean came back, scoring 2 goals. I just want to add that Moise Kean is a very good striker, very underrated. He doesn't need a lot of chances to score, and he's very clinical. In the second half of the second leg, Italy were playing way better and constantly attacking, which led to two quick goals from Moise Kean. Raspadori is a very good player. He creates very, very well, and he's a very good finisher for Napoli. Last-minute penalty given to Italy. Raspadori scores it amazingly. Couldn't have scored it better. Although it was a very good penalty, maybe should have gave it to Moise Kean because he already had 2 goals. That would have been the third goal, which would have led him to have a hat trick, which in my opinion should have led the penalty to Moise Kean. But hey, nonetheless, Raspadori took it and scored it amazingly. Now let's jump into the Netherlands versus Spain game. Final result, 5-5. Spain wins on penalties, 5-4. The first leg was 2-2. The game was played in the Netherlands. And the second leg, 3-3, which was played in Spain. And Spain wins 5-4 on penalties. So commentary and analysis. So Netherlands starts the first leg with a 4-3-3 formation. Their star players, as you guys know, Virgil van Dijk, center back. Memphis Depay, center forward, plays in Brazil right now. Still a very good player, was very talented when he was younger. Now he plays in Brazil, so he's not anymore in Europe, but still he played very well these 2 fixtures. Cody Gakpo, which maybe in my opinion is currently the best player in Netherlands. Him and Xavi Simons. You know what? I feel like we're forgetting about Xavi Simons. He's still only 22 years old. He's really good, really talented. And Xavi Simons and Cody Gakpo are probably the 2 best players in the Netherlands squad. And also in midfield, Frenkie de Jong plays for Barcelona. Been maybe 4 or 5 years he's playing for Barcelona right now. Really good, solid, constantly good midfielder. So he's one of the best players in the Netherlands. Spain starts the first leg with a 4-3-3 formation. Very Spain-like formation. Their star players, as you guys know, Lamine fucking Yamal, 17 years old. Phenomenal. Already said it many times. Don't have to repeat it. Hey, Lamine Yamal. Nico Williams. Nico Williams, man. Since you don't play in a top team, since you don't play in a team that plays in the Champions League, people tend to forget you, to forget about you, which makes sense. Of course, you're playing for Athletic Bilbao, who casuals don't watch Athletic Bilbao play, and casuals don't know about Nico Williams, but he's highly underrated and one of the greatest wingers on planet Earth, Nico Williams. Then, of course, there's also Pedri as their star players, Fabian and Cubarsí. Morata is captaining Spain, and he's the starting striker for the first leg. Pedri is the best midfielder on planet Earth currently. Like I said, in my opinion, he's the best midfielder on planet Earth. And then also, of course, Kevin De Bruyne. He's getting up there in age, but still, he's probably the greatest attacking midfielder currently. And Pedri is just the best central midfielder on planet Earth. Yamal, 17 years old, but he's playing like he's fucking 26 years old, like he's a veteran of the game. Phenomenal. Nico Williams is highly underrated, and he's one of the greatest wingers in the world. Spain have a really good team. Very young and promising stars. They all have a very bright future. Their squad is very young, and they're amongst the favorites to win the 2026 World Cup. Top three, in my opinion, Spain, Argentina, then maybe even Brazil, because, hey, Brazil are always going to be there. Then you can add England, you can add France, and that's pretty much the top five favorites to win the 2026 World Cup. Spain, of course, in my opinion, are second behind Argentina. And maybe even first, man. Maybe I'm saying second because I really love Argentina and I want them to win. So Messi wins a second World Cup. But hey, maybe they're even first. Very young players, very fucking good. Yamal, best right winger on planet Earth. And then you have the best central midfielder on planet Earth. Then you have Nico Williams. You have Dani Olmo, Cubarsí. They're all so very young and so very fucking talented. Cody Gakpo is a very good player who can create and finish well. He can play on the wings. I feel like he can even play as a striker, or even maybe I'm pushing it a little bit, but I feel like he can also play as an attacking midfielder because he's very good at creating plays. Holland were attacking very well in the first leg. Very well. Very tight game between Holland and Spain. They're both of them are very similar in level, just like Germany and Italy. Very similar, so it was a really good game to see. Nico Williams, he didn't stop, man. He was very dangerous and very good on the boat in the first leg and in the second leg. And he's one of Spain's best players. And like I said, he's one of the greatest wingers on planet Earth. So for Spain in the second leg, again, 4-3-3 formation. But this time, Olmo starts and central attacking midfielder. And Oyarzabal starts in place of Morata as striker. Pedri's on the bench this time. That's why Dani Olmo started, took his place. Holland played with a 4-3-3 formation in the second leg also. As a team, Spain are really fucking creative, really good. The tiki-taka remains in their blood. That's their style of play. That's their identity. Tiki-taka, very creative. That's Spain. And still to this day, that's Spain. Very tight second leg between both teams. Both were attacking and showing great will to win. Nico Williams, again, very, very active in the second leg. Very, very dangerous and very, very good. Lamine Yamal, man, scores an amazing goal for Spain in extra time in the second leg, man. His goal, the control, the cut, and the finish was world class from a 17-year-old Lamine Yamal. Phenomenal. That's why I was saying he's playing like he's fucking 26 years old. He's only 17, man. 9 years younger than Mbappe, which is crazy when you think about it. Amazing. Xavi Simons is an amazing talent for Holland. Probably their best player. 21 years old. Number 10 for Holland. Central attacking midfielder or winger. And he currently plays for Leipzig. I feel like he should play for a better team. I think he will. A better team will buy him. And it is what it is. Finishes off. Spain win on penalties 5-4. Spain move on to the semifinals. Denmark versus Portugal. So before I get into it, because you guys know how much I love Cristiano Ronaldo and how much I love Portugal, let me just drink some water so I can have more energy to talk about it. So the final result for Denmark versus Portugal, 5-3 for Portugal. First leg, Denmark win 1-0. The first leg game was played in Denmark. Second leg, Portugal went crazy. Portugal win 5-2, and the game was played in Portugal. Commentary and analysis. Portugal play a 4-3-3 formation with Cristiano Ronaldo up front. Denmark play a 4-2-3-1 formation with their star player Eriksen in the central attacking midfielder role. Denmark's star players are Eriksen and Højlund. I just want to say, I want to add that I'm really fucking happy that Eriksen is back, that he's full, that his health is back to full, that he's fully healthy, and that he can play the game that he loves so much, which is the game of football. So for Portugal, I'm just going to say it. If Portugal want to go far in the 2026 World Cup, you guys need to bench Cristiano Ronaldo. Yes, he's the greatest Portugal player of all time. There's no taking that away from him. He's the greatest Portugal player of all time, one of the greatest football players of all time, the greatest European player of all time. But guys, he's 40 years old. Let go of Cristiano Ronaldo. You had his magic, he had his time, you had the beauty of watching him play. You had the beauty and the magic of watching him start for Portugal as a youngster, then as a late 20-year-old, as an early 30-year-old, but now he's 40 years old, guys. He's 40 years old, guys. Forget about it. You have to let him go. If you want to have better chances in the 2026 World Cup, Portugal, you have to put Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench. Maybe still select him for the team because he's gonna bring good morale to the team, good pointers. But he cannot start matches, man. He's 40 years old. He's gonna be 41 in the World Cup in 2026. He cannot start. He's too old. And I know maybe Ronaldo with his ego and with his personality, maybe he won't want to be benched. Maybe he will want to start. Maybe they will start him because of the influence he has in the Portugal national team, in the Portuguese national team. But guys, if you want to have not winning chances, if I'm honest, I think that Portugal don't have winning chances in the 2026 World Cup, although they have a really good young team. If you want to go further, put Cristiano Ronaldo on the bench, please, man. You have very good players, seasoned players also, with Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, both 30 years old, very good, very technical. And then you have the young stars, the young bucks ready to mark their territory and put their impact on the game. With your greatest player, in my opinion, currently for Portugal is Rafael Leao. He is phenomenal. He is sensational. Rafael Leao, Vitinha, Neves, Nuno Mendes, Ruben Dias, and Trincao, and even João Felix. These are all very good young players that should be starting for Portugal. If you guys want to go far in the 2026 World Cup, you cannot start Cristiano Ronaldo. He's 40 years old, man. You need to let him go. But he is the greatest Portuguese player of all time. But right now, he's more of a nuisance than he is of something good for Portugal. So you guys should bench him. Like I said, I'm so fucking happy that Eriksen is back healthy and able to play. Portugal have very good potential in the upcoming 2026 World Cup, but they won't win it, like I already said. First leg was more of a tight game between Portugal and Denmark. Very tight game. Ronaldo got the international goal scoring record. Ronaldo remains, although I said that he's 40 years old, he remains an aerial threat. He's still a very good in the air. He's a big threat in the air, an aerial threat, even at the age of 40. Ronaldo also remains one of the greatest poachers in the world, still to his age. And of course, he's the greatest poacher of all time. And even at the age of 40, he's one of the greatest poachers in the world. Maybe only Haaland is a better poacher than he is right now. Portugal kept attacking in the second leg. It was only a question of time that they started scoring. Portugal play very well together with very young players and with seasoned players, not too seasoned like Cristiano Ronaldo, who's 46, but I mean Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva, who are 30 years old, 31 maybe. Portugal win the second leg 5-2. So now let's jump into Serbia versus Austria. The final score is 3-1 for Serbia. Hajmo Serbia, idemo dale. Hajmo Serbia, idemo. 3-1 for Serbia. First leg 1-1 for Serbia versus Austria. The game was played in Austria. Second leg, 2-0 for Serbia. And the second leg game was played in Serbia. So for the commentary and analysis, Austria play a 4-2-3-1 style of football in the first leg. Their main players are Marko Arnautovic, who currently plays for Inter Milan. 35 years old. He can play as a striker or a left winger. Then you have David Alaba, currently plays for Real Madrid. 32 years old, center back or left back. Either way, he's really good. Then you have Baumgartner. He plays for Leipzig, 25 years old, and he's a midfielder. Serbia played a 3-4-3 style of football in the first leg. Gudel, Samardzic, and Vlahovic are the main guys. Lukic and Maksimovic in central midfielder played very well. Mitrovic was out with a hamstring injury. I never really liked Mitrovic as a Serbian. I never really liked him. I think he's a bit overrated among Serbs because all my Serbian friends and all my Serbian family, they talk about Mitrovic like he's the best player. He's not their best player. He's good. Maybe should he start? I don't know. I think I would put Vlahovic and Jovic before, but maybe Mitrovic instead of Jovic. Still very debatable between those two. His style isn't the nicest or the smoothest. That's why I don't really fuck with Mitrovic. Serbia have no defense. Their defense is shit, man. They only have midfield and attack. Croatia, for a long time, was in the same situation as Serbia right now. Very good midfielders, very good forwards, shit defenders. But right now, I feel like that switched a little bit with Gvardiol and Stanisic and on the wing backs and as fullbacks. One of the two best fullbacks in the world. But the thing is, with Croatia and Serbia, with the culture, believe me, guys, I know I come from the same culture. I'm Serbian. The culture has always been everybody wants to be a midfielder in Yugoslavia. Everybody wants to be a midfielder. Everybody wants to constantly touch the ball. And the reason that ex-Yugoslavia was known as the Brazilians of Europe is because they were very technical with the ball and very good with the ball. And that's why even to this day, Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia, whatever, we have very good midfielders, very good forwards, but we lack defensively. And we've always been lacking defensively. Our style of play has always been lacking defensively. We've always been more of a creative type of teams, very technical and very attacking type of teams. But we lack defensively. Serbia needs to find another coach, man. I'm going to say it. Serbians, Pixi. Pixi is a legend of the game, one of the greatest Yugoslavs to ever play the game, and one of the greatest Serbians of all time. But as a manager, he's not the best, man. He keeps talking that talk. But when shit hits the fan, he's not the greatest manager. We should find a better manager than Pixi. He keeps finding excuses. We need to change Pixi, man. Now, of course, like I said, he's one of the greatest players of all time for ex-Yugoslavia and for Serbia. But as a manager, it's not his cup of tea. Just like Diego Maradona. Maradona is one of the greatest players of all time. Not just Argentina, but of all time. But as a manager, he wasn't a good manager, Diego Maradona. Same goes for Pixi. Serbia need to find another coach instead of Pixi. Of course, like I said, he's a legend of the game, but he's not the best manager. Amazing first goal from Austria in the first leg. Nice back header assist from Arnautovic. A nice half volley strike from Gregoric. As you guys know, Arnautovic, he has a Serbian last name. His dad is from Serbia. His mom is from Austria, and he's also born in Austria, which makes more sense for him to play for Austria. Probably he feels more like Austrian, but doesn't change the fact that he has a Serbian background through his dad. Marko Arnautovic was very dangerous the first game, very dangerous. Austria, if I gotta keep it 100, Austria were playing better than Serbia in the first leg. Sensational goal from Samardzic in the first leg. He curled that bitch in the top corner, man. That was how he cut in with his left foot and curled it in, man. Samardzic, that was an amazing goal, sensational goal in the first leg. In the first leg, Marko Arnautovic was very unlucky. He missed many chances. He had many chances. He was really good creating, and in the final third, he was really good. But hey, he didn't find the back of the net. Marko Arnautovic didn't start the second leg. Nikola Milankovic was back at the center-back position for Serbia in the second leg, which allowed Gudel to play as a central defensive midfielder, which is more his natural position. Serbia dominated the second leg. Of course, Austria dominated the first leg, but in the second leg, Serbia dominated. It was all about Serbia, especially when the Austrian player got a red card. Serbia started dominating even more. Vlahovic had a very good second leg performance. Dusan Vlahovic, very good second leg performance. Huge mistake from Austria, which caused Nemanja Maksimovic to score his first international goal and the first goal in the second leg. Like I said, everything was downhill once Austria got the red card. Živkovic with an amazing half volley strike that hit the post. Didn't go in, but it was an amazing half volley from Živkovic. Vlahovic, as you guys know, seals the game with a goal. Second goal for Serbia, which makes that Serbia with a final score for Serbia of 3-1, which means that Serbia goes through. Turkey versus Hungary. Now, there was a lot of beef between Soboslai and Arda Güler. It was because of these games, these fixtures of Turkey versus Hungary. So the results. Although there was a big beef between Soboslai and Arda Güler, doesn't change the fact that Turkey demolished Hungary 6-1 in the final result. Turkey won 3-1 in the first leg. The first leg game was played in Turkey. 3-0 Turkey won in the second leg. And the second leg game was played in Hungary. Now for the commentary and analysis. Turkey played a 4-4-2 formation in the first leg. Their star players, Yildiz, as you guys know, number 11 for Turkey. He plays for Juventus, only 19 years old. He can play as a central attacking midfielder or even as a striker. Çalhanoğlu, number 10 for Turkey. He plays for Inter Milan. He can play as a central midfielder, as a central attack midfielder, or even as a central defensive midfielder. Really good. 31 years old. He's captaining Turkey. And of course, Arda Güler, 20 years old, plays for Real Madrid. He can play as a central attacking midfielder or as a right winger. He didn't play the first leg because he was suspended. Hungary played a 3-4-3 formation in the first leg, which is a very offensive type of formation. Their star player at Hungary, Soboslai, number 10, captain for Hungary, only 24 years old, and he's already captaining Hungary, plays for Liverpool, and he plays as a central attacking midfielder. Like I said, Turkey dominated against Hungary, both fixtures. First half of the first leg was very tight between both teams. Second half of the first leg, Turkey took over the game, and it was all about Turkey, and they were just dominating the second half of the first leg. Dominic Soboslai is a world-class player, one of the best attack midfielders in the world. Now, he is a pure number 10, although the game has many dying number 10s. Not many number 10s remain in today's modern era of football. But Soboslai is a classical number 10, phenomenal, one of the best attack midfielders on planet Earth, maybe just behind, because I consider Pedri as a central midfielder, so maybe he's just behind Kevin De Bruyne and Jude Bellingham. Maybe you can consider Jude Bellingham as an attack midfielder. If you consider Bellingham as an attack midfielder, of course, he's also behind Bellingham, but he's really close to them. He's really good, Soboslai. Hungary played a 3-4-3 formation in the second leg. Again, very offensive. And Turkey played a 4-2-3-1 formation in the second leg. Arda Güler was back and starting for Turkey in the second leg as a central attacking midfielder. Hungary missed many chances in the first half of the second leg. Hungary just couldn't seem to score. Soboslai was all over the field, playing very well for Hungary, but hey, they just couldn't score. Hungary all game had many chances and just couldn't score. Turkey were silent the first half of the second leg, all up until the penalty. After the penalty that Turkey scored, Turkey started dominating the game, scoring 2 goals in the first half of the second leg. In the 90th minute, Turkey scored a third goal to finalize the game 3-0. I just want to add that, in my opinion, Soboslai is the closest thing. Like, he's very similar to Ricardo Kaká in his style of play. Very fast, very technical. When he has the ball, he's all about attacking. He's all about bringing the ball up front. Rarely does he go back with the ball. Rarely does he pass the ball back, which, in my opinion, when a player constantly attacks with the ball and constantly passes the ball forward or constantly brings the ball up front, that shows confidence in his play. 24 years old, very good. He's very similar to Kaká, in my opinion. Maybe not as good as Kaká. I still feel like Kaká is better than he was at 24, but he's very similar to Kaká. They're both tall, quick with the ball, very technical. Both of them are probably 6'2", 6'1", very good. Very good player, Dominic Soboslai. Now let's jump into Belgium versus Ukraine. Final result was 4-3 for Belgium. 3-1 for Ukraine in the first leg. First leg game was played in Spain. Of course, as you guys know, there's still a war going on in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. So they couldn't play in Ukraine. So the first leg game was supposed to be a home match for Ukraine, but they played in Spain. 3-1 for Ukraine in the first leg. 3-0 for Belgium in the second leg, which was played in Belgium. Belgium came back in the second leg, and which made them win 4-3 as a final result. So for the commentary and analysis, Ukraine played a 4-2-3-1 formation in the first leg, which in my opinion is a very balanced formation with many midfielders. The star players for Ukraine, Yaremchuk, 29 years old, number 9 for Ukraine. He plays as a striker and he plays for Olympiacos. Shaparenko, number 10 for Ukraine, plays as an attacking midfielder. 26 years old, plays for Dynamo Kiev. Zinchenko, of course, plays for Arsenal, left back, or he can even play as a defensive midfielder if he has to. 28 years old, number 17 for Ukraine. Yarmolenko. Now, I said Yarmolenko, Andrei Yarmolenko. Maybe he's a bit older, but still he has a good history with Ukraine, so I added him as one of the star players. 35 years old, plays for Dynamo Kiev currently. He can play in the midfield, mostly as a winger, left midfielder, right midfielder, winger, right winger, left winger. Plays as number 7. And, of course, Mudryk. Mudryk wasn't present during these matches. I'm not sure why. I don't think is he injured? I'm not sure. I should have checked up on it. I'm not sure, but he is probably their best player for Ukraine. 24 years old, plays for Chelsea, and he's mainly a left winger. Belgium played a 5-3-2 formation in the first leg. Very defensive. I guess they had to, but in my opinion, with their good players, which are mostly offensive, they shouldn't be playing 5-3-2, maybe more like 4-3-3. Their star players, of course, probably still one of the greatest players on planet Earth, probably still the best midfielder on planet Earth, Kevin De Bruyne, 33 years old, still has a couple of years in his prime, 2-3 years, I would say. 33 years old, number 7 for Belgium, plays for Man City, of course, central attacking midfielder. Can play central midfielder or even in the wings, but his main position is central attacking midfielder, one of the best in the world. Trossard, also one of their star players, 30 years old, plays for Arsenal, plays mainly as a left winger, number 11 for Belgium. Tielemans, number 8, 27 years old, plays for Aston Villa, midfielder, really good. And of course, probably he is their best player after Kevin De Bruyne, and he has the best potential because he's 11 years younger than Kevin De Bruyne. Jeremy Doku, left winger, plays for Man City, only 22 years old. He is phenomenal. He wears the number 22 jersey for Belgium. And of course, one of the greatest goalkeepers on planet Earth, Thibaut Courtois, 32 years old and plays for Real Madrid. Lukaku is wearing number 10 for Belgium. First of all, Jeremy Doku is way better than Lukaku. Kevin De Bruyne is miles ahead of Lukaku. I don't know who the fuck gave the number 10 jersey to Lukaku. It should either be Jeremy Doku, especially Jeremy Doku because he's 22 years old, and slowly but surely that's gonna end up being his team once Kevin De Bruyne is too old to lead. The number 10 should be given to Jeremy Doku or even Kevin De Bruyne. Although Lukaku is shit in my opinion, he scored an amazing volley for Belgium in the second leg, assisted by an amazing cross/pass from Kevin De Bruyne, and he also scored the winning goal for Belgium, Lukaku. So although I say that he's shit, that he doesn't have a first touch, these 2-leg games, he was really good and very effective. Amazing performance from Lukaku, especially in the second leg. Courtois, guys, 32 years old, still one of the best goalkeepers in the world, probably maybe even the best goalkeeper in the world. If you have Courtois, you have Alisson, you have Ederson, you have Oblak, Donnarumma. I would say those 5 are currently the best goalkeepers in the world. Belgium were more dominant in the first half of the first leg. Belgium started off strong the first couple of minutes in the second half of the first leg. Amazing free kick from Zinchenko that hits the woodwork. He didn't go in, but it was an amazing free kick from Zinchenko. Once Ukraine scored their first goal to equalize, it was all uphill for them. Ukraine came from behind and scored 3 goals in the second half to win 3-1 against Belgium in the first leg. Belgium played a 4-3-3 formation in the second leg, and Doku was back to start the game in the left winger position. Ukraine played a 3-4-3 formation in the second leg. Guys, since Belgium lost 3-1 in the first game, Belgium went all in the first half of the second leg. They know that they have to play very offensive in order to score many goals. Doku, since the beginning, had a very positive influence on the pitch for Belgium. He's a sensational left winger. Like I said, that Nico Williams is one of the greatest left wingers on planet Earth. So is Jeremy Doku, man. He's so phenomenal, so good, and he's so young, so explosive, so technical, so quick, so clinical, so decisive. One of the greatest left wingers on planet Earth, Jeremy Doku, and he's only 22 years old. Doku and De Bruyne, like I said, are the two best players for Belgium. The main players currently is De Bruyne, but slowly but surely, maybe a bit in the future, but in the near future, I would say Jeremy Doku will be the best player in Belgium. The second leg was all about Belgium, and Ukraine were completely silent. They were nowhere to be seen. Doku was a complete game changer for Belgium. A complete game changer. From the first leg when he didn't play, when he didn't start and then he came on. You can see the difference. They lost 3-1 and then they won 3-0. Big difference of Jeremy Doku. He had a huge impact. When he started in the second leg, you can see, man, his talent, his level, his class. Like I said, Doku was a complete game changer for Belgium. Now, Georgia versus Armenia. Yes, guys, like I said, I watched every single game and I have analysis and commentary on every single game just for you guys. I did this for you guys. Georgia versus Armenia. Final score 9-1 for Georgia. Georgia, I'm going to say it, man, I was surprised how well they play. Of course, with Kvaradona. I prefer to say Kvaradona. Phenomenal player, only 24 years old. Again, one of the greatest wingers on planet Earth, man. So good. So the first leg game was 3-0 for Georgia. The first leg game was played in Armenia. Second leg, 6-1 for Georgia. The second leg game was played in Georgia. Georgia scored 5 goals inside of 35 minutes, man. That's phenomenal. That's crazy. Now for the commentary and analysis, Georgia completely dominated Armenia. Man amongst little boys, a complete difference. They played very offensive and fast-paced football compared to Armenia. Georgia were dominating the entire length of the game. Kvaradona was sensational. Of course, star player of the team. Kvaradona is highly underrated in my opinion. What he's doing with PSG, what he's doing on the international stage with Georgia is phenomenal, is world class. Currently one of the best wingers on planet Earth. George Mikautadze. I'm not sure how I say his name, and it's a fucked up name. Mikautadze. Whatever his name is, had a phenomenal performance against Armenia. He's a good number 9 for Georgia. Even though Georgia destroyed Armenia, they are still a slightly above national team. I mean, it remains Georgia, right? If they face Croatia, if they face Serbia, they're going to lose. And Croatia and Serbia, they aren't amongst the top. Maybe Croatia is. Croatia are very phenomenal. But if Georgia was to face Spain, Italy, Germany, France, whatever, they would get completely wiped. So, like I said, they're slightly above average. Even though they have Kvaradona, it's not enough. But 9-1, but still, a result of 9-1 against any team is fucked up. For Georgia to win 9-1, even if it's Armenia, it shows their class. It shows that they're very good offensively and that Kvaradona, man. Now I know why Napoli fans call him Kvaradona. It's because he's phenomenal, man. Now let's go into Bulgaria versus Ireland. Final result was 4-2 for Ireland. That was the final score. First leg, 2-1 for Ireland. The first leg game was played in Bulgaria. Second leg, again, 2-1 for Ireland. And the second leg game was played in Ireland. Now for the commentary and analysis. First goal for Bulgaria in the first leg of the game was a phenomenal goal. Very nice team goal. Started off with a cheeky chip pass from Despodov. Despodov is a really good left winger, very good player. The first goal from Bulgaria was really good. Very phenomenal goal. Very nice team build-up. Like I said, Kirill Despodov, he's the main guy at Bulgaria. He's a captain for Bulgaria. He's the main guy. He plays for Greece football club PAOK. He's a winger of the age of 28, right-footed, very good player, main guy at Bulgaria. The front two of Ireland, Evan Ferguson, 20 years old, plays for West Ham in the Premier League, and Troy Parrott, who is 23 years old, plays for AZ Alkmaar, who is currently 6th in the Eredivisie, Holland League. Parrott and Ferguson, really good, really young. They are emerging talents for Ireland, and they are a really good pair up front for Ireland. Bulgaria played a 4-2-3-1 style of football, and they were really lacking defensively, in my opinion, Bulgaria. Ireland dominated offensively against Bulgaria with a 4-2-2 style of football, with the two up front of Parrott and Ferguson, really good young players. They surprised me how good they were. Parrott had a very good second leg game, very good, very effective and decisive on the pitch. Very nice goal from Ferguson in the second leg. That goal in the second leg from Ferguson shows his class, shows his creativity, and shows that he is a very clinical finisher and that he is a really good player as a number 9, that he is a really good number 9. Adam Ida, number 10 for Ireland, is also a really good player who is also young of age. He's 24 years old. Ireland, surprisingly, have a good team, with very young players, with Adam Ida, with Parrott, and with Evan Ferguson. Maybe Ireland and Georgia are very similar in level of play because, of course, they have Kvaratskhelia, but Ireland have Parrott, Ferguson, and Ida, who are really good and very young also. But again, just like Georgia, they are a slightly above average team in Europe. Ireland have a very good and young team who like and know how to attack very well. Kosovo versus Iceland. Now, for all my Serbians out there, maybe you won't want me to boycott this game because you don't consider Kosovo a country. You still consider Kosovo Serbia as part of Serbia. But hey, I guess UEFA Nation, I'm not here to be political, but I guess the UEFA Nations League considers Kosovo as a country. So Kosovo versus Iceland. Final result was 5-2 for Kosovo. 2-1 for Kosovo in the first leg. The first leg was played in Kosovo, and 3-1 for Kosovo in the second leg. The second leg game was played in Iceland. And I just want to add that the population of Kosovo is 1.6 million, and the population of Iceland is only 400,000. Both teams have a very low population, probably the two lowest populations in the entire UEFA Nations League tournament. Cyprus maybe is also there, but they didn't play. San Marino also, maybe Liechtenstein, but they didn't play. So for the commentary and analysis, Kosovo played a 4-2-3-1 style of football. Iceland played a 4-3-3 style of football. So guys, it remains Kosovo. It remains Iceland. Let's keep it 100. 100. They don't have star players, man. Neither Kosovo nor Iceland. But like I said, guys, I promised you guys that I was going to cover every single game in the Nations League. So I'm covering this game, but they have no star players. Probably the least talented games in this entire international break in this Euro Nations League. Wonderful finish for the first goal in the first leg, just outside the box. Nice assist and nice goal for Iceland's first goal in the first leg. Goal by Óskarsson, number 10 for Iceland. I gotta admit, I said that there is no star for Iceland, but Óskarsson, number 9 for Iceland, he plays as striker. He's only 20 years old. Plays for La Liga's Real Sociedad. He is really good, man. Actually, Óskarsson is really good. Now, is he a star player? Is he world class? He is not. But in this game, Kosovo and Iceland, he's probably the best player over there. He is a captain and star of the team, only 20 years old, and he's already captaining Iceland. Really good. He is the only proper baller in Iceland. Iceland have a better attack than defense. Their defense is very shaky. Second leg, Iceland played a 4-3-2-1 style of football, which is very rare and very out of the ordinary formation. It's very defensive with 4 defenders, 3 defensive midfielders, and then 2 attacking midfielders and 1 striker. Second leg game, Kosovo played again a 4-2-3-1 style of football. Óskarsson scored again in the second leg. Like I said, Óskarsson, man, is really good. Muslia or Muslija. I'm not sure for Kosovo. I'm not sure how we say his name, but it's either Muslia or Muslija. Number 8 for Kosovo is a very good creative player. Like I said, he's not a star player just like Oskarsson. But if I have to choose the best players in those teams, it's Muslia, number 8 for Kosovo, and Oskarsson, who is number 9 for Iceland. He's a very good creative player, I gotta add. Murici, the striker for Kosovo, scored a hat-trick in the second leg. Obviously, he wins the Man of the Match award. Whoever scores a hat-trick immediately gets the Man of the Match award. So Murici scored now probably their best striker, scored a good hat-trick. Now let's jump into Slovakia versus Slovenia. Final result was 1-0 for Slovenia. First leg of the game was played in Slovakia, 0-0 in the first leg. Second leg game was played in Slovenia, 1-0 for Slovenia. Now for the commentary and analysis, let me just grab some water. So for Slovenia, they have a couple of good players, man. I was surprised. I mean, Oblak, no surprise there. One of the greatest goalkeepers on planet Earth, plays for Atletico Madrid. Very sensational. Šeško, man. Ever since I saw Šeško play for the first time and in the Euros, this past Euros, man, against Portugal, he was really good, very dominant. Šeško is a really good player. And of course, there's Lovric, who Oblak, Šeško, and Lovric are amazing players, are amazing players for Slovenia. They're star players, very good. Oblak, captain of Slovenia, 32 years old, one of the greatest goalkeepers on planet Earth. Šeško, 21 years old, very young, 6'5", very tall for a soccer player, for a football player, 195 centimeters, currently plays for Leipzig. For people who don't know, Man United currently are really interested in acquiring Šeško. Šeško is playing really well. Man United want to acquire him. I think it's for $70 or $80 million. And they're also thinking about making a trade between Højlund and Šeško. That's how much they want Šeško. Very good. And also Arsenal are also showing interest for Šeško, but I think that Man United have more chances of getting Šeško than Arsenal have. Lovric, 26 years old, playing currently for Serie A team Udinese Calcio, very good. Suslov, number 7, 22 years old, plays for Hellas Verona in the Serie A, is an amazing winger for Slovakia. Suslov, very good, very young, 22 years old. Šeško was playing well and was very hungry all game long for both legs. He was playing very well. You can see, guys, if you're not just a casual, if you want to see a young, very good number 9, go see Šeško, man. He's really good and very underrated. He's gonna play in the Premier League soon, so I think he's gonna be very dominant in the Premier League. A very tight game between both teams. Both teams had their chances to score the entirety of the game, but goal from Slovenia in the 95th minute into extra time in the second leg makes that Slovenia wins 1-0 for both legs. And now let's jump into Scotland versus Greece. Final result, 3-1 for Greece. First leg game was played in Greece. Scotland won 1-0. Second leg game was played in Scotland, and that is where Greece won 3-0. Now for the commentary and analysis. Greece played with a 4-2-3-1 formation for the first leg. Greece, just like Kosovo and many other teams, Iceland, Kosovo and Iceland, they don't have really superstars, Greece. They have Tsimikas. He plays for Liverpool, plays as a left back, 28 years old, wears number 21. He's the main guy at Greece, but hey, it's a left back. Tsimikas, really good, plays for Liverpool. He's the main player at Greece, but except for Tsimikas, Greece don't really have big superstars. Got to keep it 100. Scotland played with a 4-2-3-1 formation for the first leg. Now for the superstars for Scotland, there is Scott McTominay, very good. He can play as a central midfielder or even as a central attacking midfielder. 28 years old, plays for Napoli, wears the number 4 for Scotland. Then we have Andy Robertson, a legend of the game, plays as a left back, plays for Liverpool, wears the number 3 for Scotland, 31 years old. Then we have Billy Gilmore, who is a very good young midfielder. Wears number 8 for Scotland, probably their best central midfielder, if you consider Scott McTominay more offensive. So Billy Gilmore can play as a central midfielder or as a CDM. 23 years old, and he also plays for Napoli. Took some time before there was any action in the first half of the first leg, all up until the penalty in the 33rd minute. Foul on Scott McTominay. McTominay steps up, scores the penalty very well. Greece were lacking creativity and were having trouble in defense, lacking creativity, like I said, in the middle of the field and then attack, and were lacking very badly in defense. Scotland had a couple of good chances in the first half, but they couldn't finish. McTominay and Gilmour had very good performances in the first leg. Both are very good midfielders. Both play for Napoli, and they had very good performance in the first leg. The Greek national team were very dangerous with their cross into the box, constantly crossing. I think that's their style of play from what I saw. They put many crosses into the box. In the second half of the first leg, Greece were playing way better and were way more dangerous than in the first half of the first leg. In the second half of the first leg, you can see that Greece were playing better than Scotland and were way more dangerous in attacking situations. In the second leg, Scotland played with a 4-2-3-1 formation. In the second leg, Greece played again with a 4-2-3-1 formation. In the first couple of minutes of the second leg game, Scotland had a couple of big chances, but no goals. They just couldn't seem to find the back of the net. Scott McTominay had 2-3 big chances in the first 30 minutes of the second leg, but he just couldn't finish, couldn't find the back of the net. McTominay had a very good second leg performance, and I just want to add that ever since McTominay left Man United, the jersey I'm wearing right now, ever since McTominay left Man United, which in my opinion, Man United have been a shit show for the past 15 years, for the past 13 years, ever since 2012 when Sir Alex Ferguson left and when Man U won their last Premier League title, their 20th. They were shit, and ever since Scott McTominay left Man U and went to Napoli, he's been playing very fucking well. It shows that sometimes when players go to Man United, they become shit, but they're actually really good. That's for Scott McTominay. McTominay had a very good second leg performance. Greece's defense made a lot of errors. Greece scored their first goal through a short grounded pass from the right wing. Like I was saying, Greece are really good and dangerous in crosses. In the first half of the second leg, Scotland had more chances than Greece, but Greece capitalized better on those chances. Whenever Greece had a chance, they scored. Scotland also had many chances, but he just couldn't score. And at the end of the day, you have to score to win. So Greece capitalized better on those chances and scored twice against Scotland. And Scotland just couldn't find the back of the net, and Scotland had more chances than Greece. Greece has a youngster named Karetsas, who I just figured out. He is 17 years old, had a very good second leg performance. He scored once on a first touch shot. He's very good at creating plays, and he's very lethal in the last third. He's only 17 years old. Karetsas, he's really good. Like I said before, I mean, no one really watches Greece play. No one really knows for Greece's talent. But after watching him play, he has potential. Now, who knows what will happen? He's still only 17 years old. Many things can happen. But he is really good, very talented. Second half started very well with Greece's number 9, Solis, scoring inside of 15 seconds in the second half of the second leg. In conclusion, what I can say about Greece from watching them play, they're really good in transitions. And they are really good at making the most out of all their chances. Whenever Greece had a chance, they scored, or they were very dangerous. Unlike Scotland, who had many chances, also even more chances than Greece had, but he just couldn't score, man. So in this tournament, I'm going to talk about the player stats. Viktor Gyökeres is leading as the goal scorer with 9 goals. Second is Erling Haaland, who plays for Norway, has 7 goals. And like I said, for Georgia, the guy that I said, George Mikodadze, I'm not sure. He's also second with 7 goals, and he plays for Georgia. So that shows how good of a number 9 he is and how good of a finisher he is. Fourth, we have Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, Ronaldo, I know I hate on you a lot, but hey, you're finishing fourth and with the most goals, 6 goals. At your age, that's really good. And then we have also Raj Van Marin, who also has 6 goals. He plays for Romania. I just want to add Viktor Gyökeres being the top scorer while playing for Sweden, which Sweden is a good team. They have good attackers, but I mean, it's not France, it's not Germany, it's not Italy, it's not Spain. It's not a top-tier team in Europe, and he's still a top scorer. So I think Viktor Gyökeres is a very good player. I think he's a very good number 9, and Stats speaks for themselves. He's a top scorer with 9 goals, 2 more goals than Erling Haaland, and 3 goals more than Cristiano Ronaldo. The top assist makers, Joshua Kimmich. Like I said, he has really good passes. He has a very good vision. That's why he plays right back. But if he has to, he can play as a defensive midfielder or as a central midfielder or even as a right midfielder. He's very similar to TAA. Very good crosses, very good passing ability, and he's a really good right back. Then we have Christoph Baumgartner with 4 assists, plays for Austria. Nuno Mendes, very good for Portugal, 4 assists also. And also Victor Gyökeres, who also has 4 assists. He is top 2 assist makers, and he is the top goal scorer in the UEFA Nations League. So hey, Victor Gyökeres, very good, man, very good stats. You're a really good player. Now, before I get into the predictions of the semifinals, of course, as you guys know, the semifinals are going to be played in June 4th and June 5th. First game in June 4th is going to be Germany against Portugal, and the second semifinal is going to be Spain versus France in June 5th. So let me drink some water before I get into the predictions for those semifinals. Okay, so guys, so the first semifinal is going to be Germany against Portugal. Like I said, Portugal are really good. They have very good young players. Leao, their midfield is phenomenal. But I think that they're going to start Cristiano Ronaldo. In my opinion, they shouldn't start Cristiano Ronaldo. He's too old, man. He's 40 years old. But if I have to put money on Germany versus Portugal, I think it's going to be a very tight game. Portugal are really good. I know I love to hate on Ronaldo, and I love to hate on Portugal. But Portugal right now are really good, very good young players, and very good seasoned players with Bruno Fernandes and Bernardo Silva. But if I have to put money, I think that Germany are going to win that game against Portugal. I just see Germany finishing on top. I think they're slightly better than Portugal, but hey, Portugal still have chances, man. They're so good. It's going to be a very tight game. But if someone has a gun to my head, I'm saying Germany for this game. Now, Spain versus France. I think that the winner of this game is going to win the Nations League. So, bro, both teams are so fucking good. France completely dominated against Croatia. And Croatia are a phenomenal team. They're very, very good. And France completely dominated against Croatia. Spain, although are really fucking talented, really fucking good, and really young with Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, Kubarsi, Pedri, Nico Williams, phenomenal players. For this game, man, I couldn't bet. I hope Spain win. I hope Spain wins. I would never put a bet on this game. It's too tight. Both teams are really good. You know what? Gun to my head, I'm saying Spain. Fuck it, I prefer Spain. I prefer their style of play. I prefer Lamine Yamal. I prefer Dani Olmo. I prefer Pedri. Those are my players. I fucking love Spain. I love their style of play. But I wouldn't put money, but gun to my head, I'm saying Spain. So in my opinion, it's going to be Spain against Germany in the finals. I see Spain winning. Spain are just too dominant, man. This Euro that was played this past summer, man, Spain just showed their dominance. I think they're again going to show their dominance against France. And then in the final, in my opinion, they're going to play against Germany. But if they play against Germany or against Portugal, Spain are going to win, in my opinion. And for the match, for the third place, in my opinion, it's going to be Portugal versus France. I see France winning against Portugal. Here, I would put a bet because I think there is a visible difference between both teams. Portugal are really good, but I still feel like France are miles above Portugal. Maybe it's still going to be a tight game, but I just feel like France are better. So in my opinion, it's going to be Spain against Germany. I see Spain winning against Germany and winning the Nations League. They just won the Euros. If they win the Nations League and if they win the World Cup 2026, man, Spain. If you guys can do all of that, Jesus fucking Christ, man, that's going to be crazy. But hey, we're going to stick to the Nations League. I see Spain winning the Nations League. Like I said, very tight game between Spain versus France. But the winner of Spain and France, that's the winner of the Nations League. They're better than Germany and Portugal. They have shown more talent, better skills. And I have Spain winning the UEFA Nations League. So that was it, guys. Complete recap of the UEFA Nations League with predictions of the semifinals and then of the finals. You want to do scores? Let's do scores. Fuck it. Just finish it off. I see Germany winning 3-2 against Portugal. and I see Spain winning 2-0 against France. That's how I see it, man. Why? I don't know. I see Lamine Yamal being very dominant for Spain. And Nico Williams, especially Nico Williams and Pedri. For France, I see Dembele and Mbappe continuing that attacking football, very attacking ways of football, very good. But I see Spain finishing on top. And like I said, guys, I see France winning, placing for third, for the match for the third place. I see France winning against Portugal for that match. And like I said, guys, that was it for the recap, UEFA Nations League. I'm going to see you guys again next week, whatever. Peace out.